Welcome to Strange Tales from Outer Space, episode 35. My name is Doc, and I still have the background music playing on my player, because that's totally what's supposed to happen. Oh my god, why can't we have one podcast where things go right?
We will get it eventually, I swear. I promise you.
We try every week. Every week we legitimately try. We're like, yeah, we got it, guys. We got it, guys. And someone had to. This time it was me. Anyway, My name is Doc, and I have with me, as always, my two awesome co-hosts, Indigo.
Hey.
And Krug.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm just making sure that everything is good with the stream, and I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
That's alright. And every week we bring you news and community updates from the world of WildStar. And this week it's going to be very community-driven as well. Not a whole lot of news per se. A few things we've already been covering in depth that would just have an official opening and release to them. So let's just get into it. Start our weeks off. Indigo, how was your week this week?
My week was cool. I actually finally went. People are talking about housing in chat right now. I finally went to Moose's house for the first time ever, so that was actually really fun and really cool. Other than that, changing some stuff up with work, so that's really awesome as well. But something that I feel really bad about, and literally as soon as we hit stop recording last week, I totally forgot to thank everyone for Operation Pester. It worked very well, and I'm very thankful for everyone.
It went so well, we got an official response, which was, "Hey guys, shut up."
Yep. That's pretty much it. It was, hey, stop. Just
or maybe I'm paraphrasing
stop.
that. It was more like, guys, we get it. We heard you.
We got it, Operation Pester. The other really cool thing is I actually bought a mic stand for my microphone, so my mic isn't like 10 feet away from me like it was before. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. So,
Indigo and I actually have the same microphone, but his is black and mine is white. And now that I can see his in frame, I want to sing Ebony, Ivory, together in harmony. Okay.
That reminds me, I need to upgrade my mic really soon too.
Yeah, you do.
Or maybe the two of you
sitting in my car.
The two of you should be in the same place at the same time.
That would be good.
Could have last night. Could have happened last night. Just saying.
Krug, how was your week?
Am I going first? Is that
No, I just went.
Oh, I thought you were just thanking people. I thought you actually had something happen in your own week, but I guess I should have realized that you're super boring.
Mic stand.
Okay, you spent money.
We went to Moose's house, and things are changing at work.
You played WildStar.
I don't know how.
Okay, fine. You're right. I take it back.
It's like a bitter married couple. God. How was your week, honey? It was the same week as every time.
I wish we were married. That would help with taxes quite a bit. My week was great. Nothing terribly exciting happened. I'm hating daylight savings time quite a bit, even though it's only the first day. Last night, I stayed up very late because I accidentally... This is going to sound weird. I accidentally drank an energy drink that I didn't intend to drink. And then it affected me quite powerfully. And so I basically stayed up all night, like watching Family Guy and other crap. It was the worst. And now I'm in the morning and it was just horrible. You know that stomachy feeling you get after like a heavy night of drinking? That's kind of what I have right now. Because if I didn't drink a thing, I just had a monster. I don't know why it affected me so powerfully, but I'm not going to do that again.
It's so random.
Yep.
Just like one. When I used to never drink energy drinks, I went to Costco for the first time, and they got samples every Sunday. And someone, like one Sunday, they passed out samples of Monster, and it was like the little taster cups, like a little shot glass. Like, here, guys, take it. It's not at all fucked up for your body at all. Sure, guys, I'll have some. I had one. I was like, for the next 3 hours. Just jazzed up on everything.
Yeah, so man. I'm not doing that again, even though, I'm doing it right now. But whatever, I'm not doing it again after this one. Or the other two that I have in my fridge. After those two and this almost done one, I'm never doing it again. I have some Red Bull in my fridge, too. After those and the Monsters...
And then when I go to the store and get some more.
After I get
some more, but those don't count because...
Then we're done. Yeah. We're completely done.
Just super done.
Yep. I'm addicted. How was your week, Doc?
My week was, oh my god, real life smacked me in the face last week for the grand majority of the week, so I didn't really get to play almost any games this week. I hopped on briefly on Wednesday for my little short stream I do for fun, and I went on to some veteran ship hands with Das Moose and Rabbit Bush Baby. And that was a lot of fun. It was just organized chaos. It was funny looking at the way different people play the game. Because Moose and I were like, pull the big thing, pull the big thing, pulling the big thing, and we had 4 big things. And Rabbit just listening to us over chat, and we're laughing about almost dying. And she's like, "I swear to God, you guys are horrible."
No. I watched that stream. I was there, and I'm pretty sure Moose said, "This is the only time I've ever died in this ship hand." So I'm gonna say, since I know Rabbit and Moose have done it together. Whoop, that's my phone. I'm gonna say it's your fault.
Professional.
Doc.
I will say this: it is really hard to stream because when I stream WildStar, I get up to like a 400 ping. So I'm a legitimate lag behind. So I'm missing interrupts when I really shouldn't be. It gets actually a little annoying.
It's also a ship hand, and you should know better.
Fair point. And then I finally got over my week on Saturday night. A friend's birthday party happened. We spent the whole day, what he calls the Great Hunt, like the Wild Hunt in ye old lore. We literally go from comic book shop to comic book shop with a specific goal in mind. And my goal was to finally start my collection of the IDW TMNT series because I'm a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. Whee! I finally got a lot of that, and then that night we're sitting there at his place, we're drinking, and I'm sitting there on a random skateboard ramp having a beer, and then this monster just comes up and goes, "Ah, Doc!" Ah! Just hugs me and just like, what is this? Oh yeah, it's just Indigo.
Yeah.
So it was a good day. I got the comics I wanted to. Indigo and I hung out, and I've
Argued, bickered.
Oh yeah, lots of arguing and bickering.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got into event today with Indigo, just the two of us, for maybe like 5 minutes, and we were, talking, and we were working on stuff. And then Doc comes in, and we're all talking, and they start talking about that party, which I wasn't at, and it just turns into yelling. It's just straight up screaming, and I didn't prove you. I proved you wrong. You didn't prove anything. All you did was blah, 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 blah.
Me and alcohol, I have every courage in the world except for the courage that matters.
That was a very eloquent and vague way to put that.
Mm-hmm. I this morning on International Women's Day, which is oddly enough a 23-hour day, which makes no sense at all. Just a random observation, and here we are.
Woohoo! Go team!
Good. Okay, so I'm not. We're not going to get this into an argument, but we're going to ask this question, and we'll go into news. When people in the chat,
you're baiting.
When you guys hear the word "whoa," I just want you guys. Who do you think of? All right, Doc, continue on with the story. I just let them fill it out. Whatever they want to say, whatever it is, just.
Okay, so crates. We'll just leave it at that. The actual whoa, we'll leave it at that. And we'll go on to the strange tales of the week. And like I said, this week there's not a whole lot of official news going on in WildStar. 2 really cool snippets. They're out of order in our show notes, but I'll go over them. And first and foremost, I want to go over...
Why are you pointing that out? Nobody would have known.
We normally go... Never mind.
Yeah, right?
Cut this part out of the audio podcast. And the living lore is out for this week, and it is called The Fall of Grismara. And really what it is, it's a series of short snippets on Grismara, which if you don't know, is the homeworld of the Mordesh. And it follows Victor Lazarin in his attempts to create and perfect the Everlife Elixir. Because for some really weird reason, the Mordesh were absurdly obsessed with living forever. I mean, every culture is. But to the point where they use all of their alchemical and scientific skills to create a potion. And if we don't know anything about hubris, is that there's a huge fall after it. And we got to see a little bit of what happens when they find the Everlife Elixir, their dealings with the Dominion, and the fallout of the Everlife Elixir, which has horrible consequences if you do not follow the game lore. Oddly enough, this one felt very lackluster. Like there's so much you could probably talk about in the development of the races and their connections to each other. It just felt really short. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because it's the same format every other bit of living lore has had before, or interactive lore has had before. Mm-hmm. But this one, I felt needed to be expanded upon more. We get snippets of it in game, but even then, it just felt like it was missing something. It was too short.
Maybe they will release more information about it when they finally release Mordish Housing.
Yeah, like they'll release Mordish Housing. So I'm gonna assume you guys also didn't listen or read the Fall of Gizmara.
No, Doc, because I am waiting for you to finish your series of you just reading all of the lore in a very sultry and sexy voice, and then I'm gonna listen to that and just go.
The Fall of Gizmara.
You guys can find that on Q Times. Doc is going to start that series.
Oh, please
Sexy
do.
lore.
Please do.
Sexy lore.
He's just like
Sexy
sitting in
lore.
his computer, like rubbing his nipples, like
Like
the
a smoky
fall.
jacket with like a bubble pipe. Every time I blow it out, just bubbles come out the top of it.
Okay, this has to happen now.
I don't smoke.
I'll pay for all the props. I'll straight up pay for them myself.
It's like the Victorian era. Do, 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 do. Do sexy lore with Doc. I'm having way too much fun with this.
Yeah, you are.
Oh man, but yeah, I know chat people have read it say kind of the same thing where it's like it was a little short. It just seems like there was something missing. There wasn't much going on. It was kind of all action, just 3 action paragraphs, and that was kind of it. It was cool. It had a very nice horror vibe. It was very much like Night of the Living Dead-esque, and the images also really helped push that to it. And it kind of shows how the Mordesh were. Actually, it doesn't really do much to flesh out the Mordesh. What it really does is it kind of makes them seem just single-minded and obsessive, which, yeah, it's there also in the game. I think I'm starting to come to realize that there's a lack of fleshing out in some of the major plot characters and some of the races that I feel needs to start happening.
Like what?
Yeah. Why?
We kind of realized that Victor Lazarin's pretty fleshed out compared to some of the other Victor Lazarin and Deadeye Brightland, at least on the Exile side. Some of the other characters, what's his name, Durek, for the Granok leader. He's kind of one-dimensional in the sense of "Rawr, kill them all, rawr, kill them all." And it really takes his second in command, I forget her name, to really go like, guys, seriously, this is a little much here. And her development's really cool as a character, but we don't get a whole lot of that at the moment. And I kind of wish that this as we go on with the living lore and once we catch up to Nexus, the game starts to expand upon these really cool lore characters. I mean, Axis Phaedra got some more lore in Omnicore 1, and so did Kit Brittany, I believe, for the Exiles when they did the whole you infiltrating Avitus.
I don't think I've done it on the Exile side yet, so I'm not familiar.
It's essentially the same thing. You only just go through with Kit Brittany instead of Axis Phaedra.
Apparently it's Sergeant
Kara's second command for the Granok. She's a much more interesting character, I believe, than Durek.
No,
but that's just my opinion.
Doc, can you answer this question for me? And
Yeah,
this is my ignorance in lore. No,
Indigo-nerance? No, that didn't work out as well as I thought it would in my head. Sorry.
Oh, my head hurts from slapping in the face.
I thought it was going to be good.
the problem with the mic being so close to my face now is I can just headbutt it right at
I really
any
hope you
time.
do. I really hope that happens.
No, okay, so all of the lore that they're going over on the website with the little chunks and stuff like that, is this legitimately new lore, or is this just lore that was already in the game through books and stuff like that? Like, or are they just like legitimately using this to flesh out some of the more lore that they know but we're unaware of?
A lot of it's alluded to.
Okay.
Stuff like the interaction with the Chua and the Makari is alluded to even in the beginning tutorial ship. It's just not really expanded upon. Like, you don't really know. They just said, hey, they made contact with the Chua. They came back 1,000 years later, and here they are. The Chua living lore was more like, hey, this is actually the kind of interactions. The Makari really don't like the Chua, or at the very least, Axis Phaedra. And even at the end of the day, they are pretty much just using the Chua, and the Chua are totally okay with that, so long as they can keep doing what they do. It is nice to get more background on it. I just feel like it's not enough, or it's just too short. Like, maybe that's just me really wanting to read into it more and find out more about it.
Okay.
And maybe they're doing it on purpose to just leave breadcrumbs when they finally get to go, like, we get, like, the hypothetical, much talked about in the lore circles, drop where we finally get to go to Grismara, or we get to go to Nox, or something. Mm-hmm. So that probably could really be it. It's a lot of, some of it's alluded. We never really see the whole Brightland Rebellion. We're just told they rebel. So actually knowing, who set up the rebellion, how it kind of went down is really cool. It's a little bit of a mix.
Okay.
So let's just move on from there, and I'm going to go into the patch notes for March 3rd of 2015. And we've just talked about the patch notes and the big part of it for how long now?
I
So,
don't
how long
remember.
we've been talking about the patch notes, at least the big thing in this one. I'm very curious because we've been like covering
while?
it constantly.
Forever?
A while.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about the PvP updates since the roadmap to PvP. So that's how long we have been posting or talking about it. As for like nitty gritty, like legitimate, like this is what's happening. I don't know. Last couple weeks.
Yeah. So it's.
But before we move on to this, Krug, could you do me a favor because I'm not a host on the Twitch channel? Can you post the link to the lore pieces that we were just talking
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, we'll go into it and pretty much say, hey, all those PvP changes we're talking about, the upgrade to the Prestige cap, the help with Halls of Bloodsworn, the changes to gold and that kind of stuff, all that stuff is officially live, which didn't need a drop for it. They just said, look, here we go. We're going to be fixing in between drops as well, adding and like tweaking stuff and adding content as we need to. So the restrictions ratings have been removed for war plots. And even if we're going beyond that, there's a whole bunch of little fixes to the way that vendors are set out throughout the world. A few changes to some of the dungeons, which is really nice. I don't know if you guys saw this. So someone put a screenshot, I believe, on the forums. Someone actually created a guild called Battlegrounds Commodity Vendor and just sat there for God knows how long and they'd. Just a random orange just sitting there. Didn't move at all. And he just sat there next to the Battlegrounds vendor. And that's it. Just sat there and waited for people to click on him. And they couldn't click on him. So they thought it was a bug and reported it. He's just like, hey guys, it's I don't know. And that made me laugh. But some of the vendors have changed that. And some of the quests have changed as well. And it's, like I said, we just talked about it so much. There's not much to really add to it. Just a little. Mm-hmm.
There is some stuff that we can talk about. So Tuesday was when the patch came out. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but my feed was definitely I had a wall of text from someone from Q Times who was very, very upset with the patch going through, and his complaint was, and I want your guys' opinion, is that it's not necessarily the equipment or the gear or any of that, but because the game is so based in skill, where you have to aim, you have to be able to place yourself. Do you guys feel their complaint was it has to do with skill and less about gear? And they're saying that even though the gear changes happened, Krug, I can see your face of.
I don't remember this wall of text, so I'm kind of like thinking about it as it goes. This is my thinking face. Apparently, I have a small stroke.
So basically the argument and the fight is that it has to do with skill and less about the gear, and so a lot of people are getting really upset, saying that they're still losing or getting their asses handed to them even with the gear changes and like the PvP change. And it's like, well, yep, there's a lot of skill that's involved, so
can I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it is a skill-based game. Every game is a skill-based game. I mean, you could have games that rely strictly on gear and no skill whatsoever, but I mean, I haven't even played WoW, and I would venture a guess and say that you need a level of skill in WoW, and your gear is important, but if your gear is close, somebody with a better rotation than you or a faster rotation than you can beat you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's a problem with every MMO that there are people that are worse at it and there are people that are better at it, and some of the worst people will get fed up and leave. But you can't really do anything about that. As for WildStar specifically, I don't think that the gear gap is an inconsequential problem. Like, there were times in the past when it was a huge, huge problem, especially for PvP. The gear gap was like the most limiting factor, hands down. And it's getting better, but to say that it's skill alone that's kind of causing the issues is...
Oh, and that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is that the gap itself isn't necessarily gear based. I'll admit, going into my first PvP match without any gear, it was like my health bar didn't exist. It was
You
just
didn't
like,
have a health bar. It's like a one shot, one kill.
Sure.
Exactly. And then, but the thing is, as soon as I got two pieces of gear, I had like I was able to like at least fight back. I was at least able to like defend myself. But the thing is I was still getting my face handed to me, and it had nothing to do with once I got a full set that I was finally able to go in there and defeat. No, I'm just not as good as other players.
Right.
And the thing is like in WoW or other MMOs that are tab targeting and stuff like that, it's about your rotation. This is about your rotation and your aim. There's a huge difference.
Sure. And I just don't see what, like, the point is, I guess, to be 100% honest. Like, what are you going to do about that? Make the game easier for people? I don't think that would...
No. And their complaint was, you just need to learn to get better. Like, it wasn't like... They weren't complaining that they need to nerf the game. They were saying that you just need to realize that you need to just work at it. You got to realize that there are people out there that are better than you.
I misunderstood what you were saying. I don't know if you could tell by the words that I was saying that didn't match up with the words that you were saying, but I didn't get that at all.
This is actually one of those games where, like most MMOs, really the gear does matter. No matter how skilled you are, the gear it doesn't matter. Your blues compared to at least until they made the changes to the orange gear. The orange gear was like laughing at you. Haha, same level of skill. Watch this assassinate do like twice the amount of damage to you. Bye bye. A lot of things I think people forget when they go into PvP is that your amps system helps you as well. So I know some people don't go into their amps and change it when they go into PvP, or they don't have, out of their 3 loadouts, they don't have a PvP-centric loadout. So there are people that are like, man, I can't get out of this CC. Like, have you tried using the CC where when you break out, you get an extra interrupt armor? Oh, crap, I forgot about that. So some of it is skill, some of it is they're not exploring their options. They're just thinking, oh, okay, well, if I just go into PvP power and assault power, I'll be fine. And then
that's another thing. Like, there are abilities that, like, almost hard counter other abilities, so you can have, like, I mean, I'm not talking about specifically like a CC break counters a CC, but people will go on to forums or WS Base, which is, for those of you that don't know, an awesome website that allows you to make WildStar builds and, like, not test them, but make sure that you can allocate the points you want where you want for different levels of different classes. It's a great website. You should go check it out if you haven't. So you can go on there and you can, like, look up other people's builds, and people usually just follow them to the T without paying attention to the situation. But I think
or what they're actually doing.
Yeah, but then I'd also venture to say that that's skill as well. Like, being able to be conscious of the situation and say, okay, this boss is going to do this, and so I need this, or this team seems to be comprised of people who are mostly doing this thing, so I need to do this thing instead of whatever I'm doing. Like, that level of awareness of, like, being in the game but also in the meta at the same time is kind of, in my opinion, what makes a good player in every game, not just
And this is a game
WildStar.
where actually your adaptability can matter too.
Yeah, 100%.
And like I said, it's also not just your amps; it's also the tiers of your the tiers of your skills. My God, that coffee kicked in, and it's
good.
It's quite gorgeous.
Speaking of which, I'm just gonna.
And you said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna have another cup," and I yelled at you to say no. So just saying.
I had a whole giant glass of iced coffee earlier because I just could
That
not
is a
wake
lot
up.
of iced coffee.
Oh fuck yeah! This is big as my head.
Indigo, what are you drinking? It looks like a tampon. I really need to know what's in there. What are you drinking? What are you drinking? Can you just tell me what you're drinking, please?
Today, I
had a follow-up joke to that, but it's really bad.
I
don't
recommend not doing that.
I don't know if you know this or not, but there is a health food convention going on, and
I do know.
right before we went on live, my girlfriend came in and said, "Hey, I grabbed an energy drink from the health food convention, and it's called Uptime." I don't know if you can see that.
That's nerdy. What does it taste like?
It tastes like shit. It's horrible.
And we gave him a free plug too. Uptime tastes like shit.
There goes that sponsorship.
in their defense, they did also make me put the stupid chapstick stuff on right before it that like smelt like your hookah or your vape pen, and it felt like bees were crawling on my lips.
Wait, hold on. They like that's part of the drink. You have to put chapstick on before.
No.
Oh,
It's a weird combo.
That makes tons more sense.
No. So they came in and said, "Oh, try this awesome chapstick," and I was like, "I don't want to." And they're like, "No, you got to." I was like, "No, I really don't want to." But then they made me, and so I put it on, and it felt like bugs were just crawling, just all, and I'm like, why is it burning and tingling? And they're like,
anaphylactic shock.
no, they go, it's supposed to have a buzzing sensation. I'm like, no, seriously, get this off of me. Like,
Well, thank you for that. Sorry to derail the entire podcast.
yeah, sorry, but I will continue to drink this.
Anyway,
Yeah, it looks like
if we're going back to the thing at hand, I don't believe that it's purely a learn to play situation in this. It is learn to play and learn to be adaptable. Learn to be adaptable in what your class can do, what you want to do in PvP, and the gear definitely helps. The gear changes have definitely helped. That's all I'm going to say on it.
Well, I mean, you can't say that skill doesn't take effect to it. Like you legitimately can't say that. Like, someone that goes into this and has the top tier gear, let's just say that Carbine's like, hey, here you go, we're just gonna give it to you, and someone with top tier gear still can get their ass handed to them with someone with just PvE gear, just like basic gear. So the thing is, saying that skill doesn't take effect is horseshit, and you have to realize that.
Although I will say that
adaptability in what you're able to do with your amps and your tiers, like that's how you adapt and get better at the game.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's called a limited reason, and if you remember way back when they had the awesome dev speak videos, which everyone still continues to scream, bring them back!
Yes,
I'm sure they can contract Frost back. And just
Well, they don't need Frost. I'm just saying.
No, they do.
We do have someone that can do the awesome
Protostar
voice.
Yeah.
No
money.
So the thing is that if you go back to those videos, that when they talked about the limited action set, they flat out said, hey, the whole point of it is to get the limited action set, go in there, fight, go, oh crap, that didn't work. I'm going to change my limited action set to my long range mitigation CC build. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I've done that on the fly during Battlegrounds. If I die too much, I'm like, okay, I need more survivability, and I'll flip it out. Yeah,
mind you, I do hate that you have, like, how much grinding you have to do to get that third action set. Like, but that's the thing is that being able to have that is really, really helpful. But I think, I don't know where I'm going with it. I think it's very skill based. I think you can destroy people that have high level gear, and I agree with the person that was arguing that the game is extremely skill based versus just gear based. So that was my forte into the PvP notes.
And I'm just gonna one more thing about the skill based versus gear based thing, and then I'll drop it. So I told a story last week, I think, about a group of people that were ganking me while I was trying to turn into a turn-net quest in, and how we kind of went back and forth, and they killed me I think twice, and then I killed them once. Something similar happened to me where I was in a different zone trying to turn in a quest, and there was one much higher level person than me, and so I saw him at the quest hub, and so I decided, because I'd tried this build on Indigo before, I think. It was just like, what was it? It was like one assault ability and then all utility, CCs and roots and
Was this your medic never die build? Because I wanted to
No, it's way easier in medic to never die, but spell slinger is a little harder. It was like void slip and the frost cone thingy, whatever that's called.
Oh yeah, I use all the time to duel you guys.
Yeah, but it's all of them and then one assault ability just to like plink. So I just built that really quick and just allocated random points, and then ran up, turned the quest in. He obviously aggroed me, quote unquote. And so I'm running away and just turning around and root, and then turn around and void slip and run behind him, and then root, and then run away and stun, and just until I got away. And that's like you don't have to kill someone in order to be better than them. That's the point I'm trying to make. You can just do the thing you want to do, and then make it so they can't kill you, even though they definitely should have been able to kill you.
I miss those days. Just the chain CC all day. That was fun.
The CC train, as we like to call it in PvP.
One-man CC train. I'm going to try that build in PvP. I think that'd be fun.
It's not as effective as you think it is. It's great against dueling. Especially if you're doing one-on-one dueling, like, say, for a tournament. But not for 15 on 15 or 10 on 10. It's very limited. You can get a few people locked out, but then once you're done, once you're on cooldown for everything, you're kind of a sitting duck.
I'm going to try it anyways.
No, go for it. I'm not saying you don't have to.
I think it sounds like a very good team build. Like, for example, like if Krug and I were teaming together and I was on my stalker and he was on his medic and he was CC training someone and I'm just sitting there going,
can't do that on a medic at all.
Actually, that would be
because you only have one CC, huh?
There's also a root, but whatever.
As that would work until one of you guys falls, and then it's just random like speculation. I'm not trying to naysay it. I'm not trying to naysay it.
Oh, good. Finally, you not naysaying something. That's a first time.
To our readers, our listeners,
Our
why did I say
readers.
readers.
Come read STOS. Come read the STOS podcast. We're now posting transcripts of all of our podcasts. Doc,
Nope.
you have fun writing those?
Yeah.
That looks weird. Please stop. Can we move on now? I'd love to move on now.
Speaking of a combination of gear and skill, this showed up on Reddit over the last 7 days, and we're gonna put the links in the chat because it's really freaking cool. And what happened was Immortal, or players from Immortal, I believe that's the name. Yeah, Immortal. They decided for shits and giggles that they were going to take on X89, which isn't that big a deal. You can 20-man it. Well, they decided we're just gonna 7-man it. That's I'm flabbergasted. Like I saw the video. There's images of it. There's video of it, and I just had a few random observations. It took them 10 minutes with 7 people to take down X89. It was insane. I'm actually surprised. It looked easier with 7 people than it did with 20 people.
Yep. It was gross.
They kind of had a really relaxed attitude on it, and so I kind of like just thought, were they really that skilled and geared where it wasn't a big issue for them? Just wanted to try it for the fun of it, or since the changes to 20-man and Datascape and Kinetic Archives happened, is it much easier to get it done now? I don't know, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, it was definitely impressive, and it was fun because the video includes their voice chat, and they were just kind of like shooting the shit, like, "Hey, how's it going? Oh, good. How are you?" They were like, "Oh, gotta win, gotta fight, do the thing. You didn't do the thing right."
There's a bomb in you. Want to jump off? Yeah, I'm gonna jump off. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have some more coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20%. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Just listening to them
It's
talk.
disgusting.
Like, they don't give a fuck. And I've realized why we don't get shoutouts on 0 to 50 anymore.
I'm talking about tampons. You don't even give a fuck. It's just lots of.
We're horrible people.
Well, Doc, you know what? This is episode 35 now.
Yes, it is.
36 is right around the corner. We could just change our ways. We can come in and go NPR on us.
Nope.
And we can just,
Nope.
The two of our new leave, guys.
Nope.
Yeah, and just come in and go, hi, welcome to STOS Live. I'm Indigo, and we'll be talking about the strange tales from outer space this week.
Why thank you, Nico? As we go through this week's news, what do you think about it?
I'm Krug! I'm just saying, you can have people that sound like that on NPR, so...
I can't listen to most NPR podcasts. They fall asleep to them. But anyway, I just wanted to say shout out to Immortal for 7-manning X89.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Why?
Super props.
How? I want to know what your loadouts were, like what your gear. We wish we had an armory. I'd love an armory.
What's an armory?
That would be really, really cool.
An armory? Oh yeah, because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Armory?
I don't know.
Go ahead, explain it.
An armory is basically a location in which you can see like your character, what gear you're wearing, and then you can see the stats that other people have. So you know how you can inspect on someone in WildStar, a website that has just that. So basically, you could.
Oh, so I could type in Indigo Jones, and then it would show me your gear, basically.
Yeah.
Or like your character
list.
screen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Base kind of covers amp loadouts already, interior loadouts, but we don't have like, hey, this guy's rocking 4 pieces of orange gear with this rune loadout. Is he running mostly fire runes or something?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I think it would be really awesome to see.
Yeah, and the thing is I think it would be a little bit more complicated than like WoW who does it, because you do have to take a look at the gear of the armory, and then you also have to take a look at the amps that they're using and which action set. So I mean, I think there's a lot
more information.
Yeah, a ton more information, and since it's so easily exchangeable, you know what I mean? Like I can sit there and get rid of one of my amps and just switch it. So it's like, how often are they retrieving that information from their servers? And I think it would be very, very complicated, but I definitely see the usefulness of it.
And I personally would love to see a person's rune loadout, because once you see the rune loadout, you can see whether they're deciding to go for all support power, or whether they decided to go for more utility and stack up their class specialization, things like Assassinate. Once you have that down, you'll be able to DPS your way through any Datascape or Genetic Archive boss you find.
That was a really boring voice, and yet more interesting than your actual podcasting voice, so... It burns! Get out of my house! Just kidding.
Anyway, I just want come on, guys. We can add more stuff to this game. I know it'd be tough, but it'd be really cool. Plus, it's a great way to just, like we said, just to see. I have a big problem with runes personally. I'm pretty much just stockpiling runes. I don't know what. Like, I'm not looking for the optimal build. At least not yet. I'm not raiding hardcore. Mm-hmm. I'm not even really raiding yet. I'm just trying to get there. But I'm sitting there going like, I don't know. I get that as a spellslinger main, I want fire runes, I want air runes, I want fusion runes. But what kind? We've got like it's just so odd. And if I were to just have that page where I can just kind of look through, say, oh, here's all the spell slingers from Enigma. Here are the ones that are focusing on assault instead of utility.
But that's boring. I mean, okay, I guess to each their own, and you can copy other people's builds if you want, and I shouldn't get pissed about it. But I don't understand how you find it fun to just be like, hey, somebody teach me the meta. Okay, thanks, and then you just take it.
I'm not looking for a teaching of the meta. I'm looking to see, like, what are they doing that I'm missing on? Like, for some reason, my DPS is lackluster. Why is that?
But that is them teaching you the meta. In my opinion, and again, I can't be mad at you for this because you can play however the F you want. In my opinion, it's way more fun to build something that I think is good, and then run into a fight and be like, oh my god, that didn't work, I need more of this other thing, and then put more of this other thing, take out the things that I don't think I need based off of the results of the fight, go into another fight, do the same thing over and over and over again until I find something that works. See, like that trial and error and troubleshooting my build is really cool.
I don't mind that, but I was sitting there going into veteran dungeons with like earth rune slots as an assault spellslinger and putting them in with like health stuff in the very beginning. And I know I was doing something wrong, but I didn't know why I was doing it wrong. So I guess it kind of is like metagaming, like you're looking for the optimal build, but having at least an idea. At least a guideline where like, hey guys, you don't have to follow this build, but if you want to at least attempt to make sure you're putting out more damage and less threats, try doing this instead.
So, as long as we're talking about this and people in the chat, Clover, are kind of asking about it, Rune Master is a really good tool for this. It's an add-on. I know, harp on add-ons a lot, but it's a really, really good tool. It'll show you in a really easy-to-understand grid what runes there are, what their abilities are, and what your gear can make from those runes. So, for example, you can make 4 sets of this rune because you have these slots and these pieces of gear. And then you can plan out how you're going to slot everything, see what the results of that are going to be, and then it'll tell you what resources you need. It's like the most featureful rune thing you could ask for.
It's honestly what I feel rune crafting should be like in the game.
And
like
it doesn't, and this is why I like it. It doesn't do the theory crafting for you. It doesn't say you need this, you need this. It just gives you 100% of the information that you need in order to make the choices yourself.
Yeah, because currently
Rune
right now
Master. I'll find the link in Curse and post it.
Okay, yeah, because currently you have to go over to the rune creation and go, okay, I can make all of these runes. Oh, but hold on, what rune do I need? And then you have to go over to the next tab and go, okay, I'm wearing these pair of pants, so I've got a fire, an earth, and a wind on these. Okay, I'm going to go back, and then you make your fire rune, and then you're like, what was the second one? Earth, that's right. Okay, go to earth, and you make your earth rune, and then you're like, fuck, I forgot my first one. Then you have to go back to the previous tab. Then, it's wind. Okay, then you go back to the first tab again to be able to make it. It's literally 100% all of the information is right there in front of you. And, hey, look I can't make these 2 runes on the same pair of pants or the same pair. Like, it does all of that for you. And it is extremely nice. Extremely nice.
I'll check that out, definitely.
Yeah, it's super cool, and it's I know we've talked about it before, and I hate to harp on the same add-ons over and over again, but it is that good. It is that useful, especially if you don't have that in your head. I know some people that do spreadsheets and pull the information themselves and blah, 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 blah. That's really finicky, and this just gives you the information. It's so useful.
Also, I wouldn't mind a redesign of the rune UI in game. Just saying.
You said that, and then it happened, and now you want it again?
Well, that's the part about being a designer. You can always improve on what's there. I still think that having those 2 distinct tabs, it doesn't make any sense. You could fit, if you had, it's hard to visualize if you're listening, but if you want to follow my hands, if you're watching live, it simply needs to really be one panel. And you bisect it into 2 parts. At least this is an idea. Top bar would simply be gear you have on in a drop down menu that you can switch out, like gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, whatever. And it simply is your shirts, your boots, everything. You're able to hover over it and see this is or click on it, and it opens up a little window, like pop-up window right on top of it, and it says, hey, this is your runes right now you have on it. Here you want to, switch your rune out, or you want to add a rune to it, here you go. Below it is the big main menu that has your list of runes. Having that, you could just kind of go, literally, you just have to just dart your eyes back and forth instead of having to click tab, click tab, click tab. I think that can be improved upon. That's just my thought. And it actually helps you out with trying to get your runes in order. Because I'm sitting there sometimes I'm going like, oh yeah, I need this rune instead. So I'll go back and tab over. And this is just first world problems. I'm griping like, why can't I find the rune I want? I'm just being pissy now.
That was a really random rune tangent, by the way.
Well, no, and I think
I
that's
forgot
fine.
how we got on it completely.
No, and I think it's fine that we talked about it. And I mean, yes, they did do an overhaul of the rune stuff, but from my understanding of it, they weren't the happiest with it. It was kind of more like, hey, we really needed to make it look better, and it was more of a, ease of life than it was an overall rune crafting like better. God, that's not even the right
rune
word.
crafting better.
Rune crafting better. No, because their whole thing was they were saying that with rune crafting, it isn't like WildStar crafting. Like
right. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, it's
way
just
long
click
ago.
And it makes. And so I don't think that this like update on rune crafting that they did a while ago, it was more of a just like, we're gonna make it look prettier. It wasn't a we're going to legitimately improve or change how rune crafting happens. So I think that's still on the horizon. I just think it kind of got pushed to the back burner to solve some other like crucial problems or crucial issues that they felt that they had, which I'm completely cool with. I'm sad.
Absolutely.
I'm happy with what it is now for now. But I mean, it's always something that they can go on and improve as long as we keep the player base, which again, definitely increasing. I'm going to say this every week, still improving, still making better.
Hopefully we're going to say this every week.
Yeah.
Knock on that wood.
Say we're slowly but surely just bounding back.
Yeah. I know this is really off topic, but for anyone that's listening to this podcast or watching the live stream or watching the video, Doc would like to say he's sorry for having a crappy laptop and the lateness of last week's release of the podcast.
You son of
I like how we're putting this in the middle of the episode and not at the beginning or at the end, which is the logical place to put these kinds of things. Nope. You're just gonna blah 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 rune crafting. By the way, we posted late last week, so that was Doc's fault. Anyways, moving on with the show. Now that Doc's all angry, we're gonna go on, and he's gonna run the show now.
Here's Indigo.
By the way, this was a bus. I don't know if you could tell. This was a bus. He threw him under the bus.
So there's other things I wanted to highlight from the community. One is actually a live stream that is pretty recent and it's happening more and more often. Do you guys remember the Victorious Failures Guild? They did the 0 to 50, the failure to 50 stream a few weeks back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are starting to tackle the data or genetic archives bosses, and they're doing live streams every Sunday night, roughly around after our show.
Oh, awesome!
So if you're watching this show, we'll find. I have the link right here. Actually, I'll put that on there. But Victorious Failures, they're starting to do kind of what other people are doing, and they're starting to show the really cool sides of WildStar and the dedication they have because these guys are really cool. They decided to just say, hey, we're going to stream at 8 p.m. on Sundays, and we're going to show you us taking on different Datascape bosses or world bosses. So if you're listening to us on the podcast and you want to see more of the awesome stuff you can't get into or trying to get into or are into, you want to get some inside information and pointers and see what they're doing, check them out. If you're in the stream and you want to go check that out after this show, I say go ahead and do it. It's pretty freaking awesome. The second thing I want to talk about, and this one's actually something I wanted to have a little discussion on. Someone decided that they want to take it upon themselves on the forums and talk about companions. Now, right now in WildStar, you're just going to see random creatures in the world, and that's kind of it.
In WildStar. I was about to say Rose is my favorite companion. Sorry.
For those of you who don't know, and I find it
I was
hard to
gonna
believe
say
that there are
it.
very many of you that don't know what that joke was, that was a Doctor Who joke.
Also, the best companion is clearly Donna Noble.
Donna is great. Donna is great. I will say Donna is legitimate. My second, because she's legitimately witty. But I hated her ending, and
Rose
that's why I
sucks.
didn't like it. So
Rose sucks. Just saying. I'm shots fired there. Rose can suck it. I don't like Rose. Anyway, Inara's the best. We'll leave it at that. These guys, this player, I forgot his or her name, Garen. There we go. I'll put the link in chat. And what they decided was they're going to say, hey guys, you know how we have companions as someone data mined possible short-term pets a while back for a possible holiday that never happened? No offense, KDM. They're like, hey, what if we actually had a pet system in the game? And they decided to put a massively long post on the forums talking about Elmost. It's a horrible name, but stick with me. The idea was that we obviously know that on our time in Nexus, it's not the beginning of the Nexus project. They've been there for a while, whether it's Thade being kind of hastily constructed or Ilium being this colossal, clean monument of intergalactic sovereignty, tyranny, whatever.
Sure. Random words are great. Galactic potato salad?
Anyway, they were like, hey, what if these creatures, we could have some kind of digital recorder, like a Pokedex, essentially, and run around the world and try and tame these random Elden monsters, or Elmost for short. And it's pretty much the WoW pet system mixed with the Pokemon. The only difference is that you have to actually fight them yourself. So instead of like Pikachu, I choose you, it's like assassinate. Psst, psst. Oh, I think I killed it.
That's pretty much what Pokemon was like.
I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. It's really cool. It's not unique, but it's definitely thought out, and it's a way that makes sense in the case of WildStar. You're basically going with the Elden laboratories, and you're digging up information on these creatures, and it's kind of a combination of the hunter quests in World of Warcraft, where you're sent to find these rare pets, and have different. Some of them, depending on the rarity of the pet, they'll have different. What's it called? Prerequisites to tame it, and then also the Pokemon aspect of like it's rare, it randomly pops up, and some of them like to run around. You gotta chase them, and some of them might even evolve or are mutated if they're like exposed to the. That'd be awesome. That's not in there. What are you shaking your head for?
continue. I'm waiting politely for you to finish your tirade. I'm sorry, your rant.
I just want to see your suggestions on this because I thought, this is kind of cool. This person actually has a UI set up, and it has like a list of your own Elmos, and some are combat Elmos.
Can we stop calling them Elmos?
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not okay with that.
Okay, what would you call them?
Pets.
Pets.
We don't do conventional naming in this game. We don't do stamina. We call it grit. We don't do. We don't.
Who cares?
Brutality.
You know what else we don't do in this game? We don't do stupid names like Elmo. That's all I'm saying. I like the idea. I just don't like Elmo.
You use stamina in the game. That's what you use when you run. And
Boom.
we have a class called Warrior. So yes,
Boom.
standard names.
Get dunked. Drop the mic.
Anyway.
Wild Star.
Oh my god, did you just throw up a gang sign on screen? Holy crap. Are we throwing up like, is this, how do you do the WoW? There we go. Just, you gotta throw your WoW sign up there. Boom.
Anyways.
No,
so,
you're gonna, yeah. I'm
I
gonna ban you from, I'm just gonna.
I think this would be a very, very long project for someone to work on. I do love the UI. I hate the name Elmos because
I agree. Elmo's not a good name.
I don't know how I feel about the whole Pokemon battle thing because I didn't like it in WoW. I liked the whole catching them. I liked the whole that thing. The battles were really, really boring, and it like took you out of the world, and it didn't make sense. Like it was like trying it like it was the same thing when they added the Plants vs Zombies. While it was fun, it just didn't make sense to me like why that existed.
They
You know what I mean?
added Plants vs Zombies.
Yes, there was a small mission where you would go and you would plant different. Yeah, anyways, it was fun. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm cool with having pets in this game. I'm cool because something Moose showed me this week, which is on one of the ship hands. There's like this area you can jump up into, and it's like a super secret area. And there's one of the little like bug dudes, and he falls in love with you and follows you. Krug, you were with me when we did that, right?
Wouldn't that be awesome to get to keep the little bug dude?
Yeah, absolutely. Like him following you around,
and then train to be a little bug dude of death.
That to me is just whatever. I
remember the little panther on Farside. Not panther. What was it?
It was a little like Pumera.
Sure.
Pumera, yeah.
Yeah, I remember names of stuff.
Yeah. Like that. I'm cool with having a pet follow you or having like like that. That's cool. I like
the scan bot.
Yeah, like the scam bot. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. I think that would be cool, and I think it would be unique. And I definitely agree with there should be rare ones, and like people like find that as a collection thing, and there should be some sort of like collection on it. But maybe instead of like information of what their attacks are, it would just be information about that specific creature in the world, which would tie back to the lore in the game.
Okay, I see why you wouldn't want pet battles. I kind of like the pet battle system. I've always been a big fan of Pokemon.
No.
Plus, but here's the thing.
I mean, got it right here.
For those who aren't watching, he bought Pokemon this week, and he's it's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, did you buy a 3DS?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. He has disposable income. Welcome to the new millennium.
I don't
Anyway.
have disposable income.
I'm going to disagree that just a pet system alone isn't enough. God, for God's sake, get rid of Elmost as a name. I know it's a proposal from a fan. They thought really hard about it. It makes sense. Elden Monsters, Elmost. But we could probably do more than that. Their description of like how they would go about it sounds pretty cool. And you already have a rock, paper, scissors system in place already with the signs. Fire, earth, water, fusion, logic.
I see what you're saying. When you said rock, paper, scissors system, I was like, what are you talking about? But I understand.
Yeah, like you've already...
Like elements that overpower one another based on what they are, kind of thing?
And then you can add a few more, like technological, like something like that for like constructs or something that you can create. Like if you're a scientist. And you can do all sorts of cool stuff. You can integrate them with the path system. Like what if you're a soldier, you have the ability to up a specific kind of stats in your pets. So those would have an advantage that other paths wouldn't have. If you're a settler, you would be able to have this advantage in a pet battle. Or I'm going to say pet battle because Elmo battles are ridiculous. But you could tie the system in and make it more interesting to keep going with other stuff in the game. Obviously, levels and exploration, more unique exotic pets. Your path systems can be increased with that. And if you take WildStar's combat and put that on a smaller scale for WildStar cockfighting, that sounds awesome.
I mean, but here's the thing is that with WildStar's combat, it isn't tab target. It isn't I'm going to stand there and hit a single button. In this, it would have to be something completely different. And I don't know how they would even get this into the lore where you would take control over that creature and you would fight. You know what I mean? Like, it would just completely just like, this is the action. The game is very fast-paced, quick. It requires skill, and then it's like, oh, and we're going to completely take you out of the game and put you in an RTS. Like,
what if? Here's
not even an RTS. I'm going to put you in a turn-based strategy.
Here's my angle. What if we were kind of expanding on the Nexus project? We're doing a small-scale version of the Nexus project, where instead of actually taming these pets and like physically making them do our commands, we're seeking them out, we're biologically scanning them. In some cases we have to actually autopsy them because we're fucked up like that, and we're taking this information and gathering it and taking it to the caretaker or somebody and creating a digital version of this pet that then allows you to take actual physical control of the pet. When you engage in a pet battle in WildStar, you're not actually endangering anything physical. You are simply expanding upon the Nexus project and figuring out a kind of like Darwinism with your creatures. So now you get to see what you can push these creatures to their biological limits or their artificial limits, like because they were actually artificially inseminating and breeding and fixing these creatures. Like the skeets were augmented upon and the strain is augmented. Like, what if you were able to do stuff like, what were your plans if this creature or this construct came in contact with the strain? Now that you have a digital battlefield to put these creatures on, you're able to essentially play mini-god And so that way you're not actually harming real creatures. It's a digital representation, and you're allowed to kind of take it into this crazy WildStar offshoot where things are mutating, or things you're essentially following in the Elden's footsteps, whether for good or bad. And then, you can tie that into other stuff. Just saying.
I mean, you can argue it day and night, and it could be a legitimate thing. I will say this: the artwork that they put together in here, where they've got like the list of all of the creatures and then their abilities, and then the image of them. That's something that actually I think would be really interesting to add to the lore aspect of it. Like every time you come across a creature or kill a creature in game, that piece of information gets added to your lore book, and it's got a little image of the creature that you killed, and it's got the information about it. I think that would be cool. Again, we can talk until we're blue in the face about pet battling, stuff like that.
I have 2 cents to throw in.
Go for it.
It should just be pets that you catch and then fight to kill other people's pets. And then once you kill them, you don't get them back.
Hardcore mode?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they don't add anything to your character. You can't use them in combat, but you, have a pride and joy pet, and then somebody comes and ganks it with his pet. Like, another layer of ganking. And you shouldn't be able to turn that flag off so that the PvE server is more exciting. That's my 2 cents.
That sounds amazing and horrible at the same exact
That's
time.
why I like it.
So many people would be so
constantly
pissed.
I know. I would only level my pet. To just be
What if
like,
But we can all
you know, it'd be
agree on-
great. I have a great idea.
Time.
So,
I love speculation time.
do you know what was the guild name that did the 7-man run in Immune?
Immortal.
Immune. It was Immortal. Was it Immortal? Or Immune?
7-man X89. We
Yeah.
just talked about it.
Is it Immortal?
Yeah.
Okay, I used some I word that had to do with don't die. Anyways, so just like they did a 7-man run of X89, a 7-pet run of X89.
Okay, now we're just going off the rails.
But we can all look. There is
How
one-
awesome would that be?
No, it's not. There's
It
one
was so
thing.
awesome.
There is one thing we all can agree on, though, and we're gonna end it on that. We all agree that Elmost is a horrible fucking name.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Unanimous.
is it Garen? Yeah, or Ian? It's a horrible name, buddy. Just so
It's
bad.
really creepy.
I mean,
I don't want to tickle me pet.
They definitely put a ton of work in it, and I love it. Like they really did put a ton of work and a ton of thought behind it. And
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome. It's totally really awesome. Maybe one day, maybe that's something that happens. And I'm totally down. I mean, if they add it, I'm cool. If they don't, then I'm fine with that. I definitely think pets would be really cool. Just in general, adding collectibles in the game definitely keeps people coming in to grind and come in and try to get different things. So I'm definitely down for pets in the game. Now this is okay. We're gonna go on a different tangent, and I apologize. Is there anything else in the game that you guys would be interested in, like collectible wise, that you think would be fun to add into the game?
Stamps.
Stamps?
Collectible stamps.
Oh God, you're not allowed to host the stream anymore. Because when I'm hosting stream, I could just get rid of you. And,
Yeah.
and I can't do
Like
that.
that. Boom. No longer on the stream. I control everything. Can get rid of Doc too, cause I'm really cool. Like this.
Wow.
Just
Wait, I'm
crew.
trying to
Welcome
think.
to the crew
Things
show.
that
Welcome
would
to
also
the
be really
crew
fun
show.
Collectibles. See, I like doing collectibles and extra stuff. I'm just trying to think what else would fit in this game. I like the idea of merging the Elden Nexus project with the Elmost. I think that would actually solve a lot of problems of animal cruelty because it's all digital. You could play with your moral boundaries if you're really messed up. You kind of participate in the story. You can create really random quests for that. So that's what I would really like to see. Other collectibles in this game. I mean, I like stuff like archaeology in World of Warcraft. So stuff like that, digging up stuff. So like that's already kind of covered with the scientist path and the. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at the fact that he had us muted or had us just blacked off for
You son of a bitch!
It was the crew show.
He was just standing there with just putting his hand underneath his chin yes, this is awesome.
Have the power.
I'm sitting here talking and like being.
No, you weren't muted. They could hear you. I'm not that much of a troll, dude.
No, they definitely heard you. It was just it's just your face they couldn't see.
I'd have to actually think about that and get back to you next week on it because
Okay.
I'm sure there's something that I haven't thought of at the moment that'd be really fun to kind of go out there and scour it. Anything that allows me to get into the game more and explore the world more and go more in depth, I'm all for, even if it's not super progression like levels and rating and whatnot.
Okay.
Can I give like a legitimate answer instead of stamps?
Yes. I was hoping you would.
So as for collectible things, I don't really think anything to do with like the way my character looks or like lore or anything like that. That's not what I want to collect. I want to collect trophies from kills. Like I want to be able to,
Yes.
right? And both PvP and PvE. And I know this is going to be weird, but here's my thought about how it would work. You'd have like a plug on your plot that would be like, and I know this is kind of like getting into dangerous territory where you have plugs that create their own instances. I think this is how it works, like the house, but it's not the house. And so if you have like a lot of those, I'm assuming it would take a lot of like work and like revamping of the plug system. Maybe, I don't know, but this is just my idea, so go with it. So you have this plug and it lands on your house and there's a door and you open the door and it takes you to a super long hallway and it's just like lined with the costume of the person that you killed. And like however many people you've killed, it's lined with that many people. Or maybe it's like limited to like the last 50 or something and they're like flanking either side. And then you get to the end of the room and it opens up into a much larger room and it shows every world boss that you've killed and then like every dungeon boss that you've killed and basically every big thing that you've ever killed. And then it shows you what you haven't killed. So there are like holes missing and it's like, oh, you still have to kill this one. You can like go and like find it and kill it and come back and look at your complete collection.
I mean, those kind of do exist. You have the holograms from the veteran bosses. You have the head mounts from the veteran bosses and dungeons. So that's there. Some of that's already there. Some like PvP stuff would be interesting.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of make a room like that in your house, but you can only have one costume stand in your house, right? Is that true?
Two. You
Two. You can have two. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not
No, one.
One? I thought it was two.
One.
Katie might be able to correct us when she hears us bickering about this.
It's one. It's one, and she could correct me, but it's miserable, and I hate it.
That's because you want to do like a weird House of 1,000 Corpses wax corpse thing for Halloween last year.
Yeah, I wanted to
one in there.
Well, I'm far from the only one that wanted to have more than one. I mean, I know Moose for a fact wanted to have a couple in his house. I'm kind of with Krug with like trophies and like. So with the achievements, so right now we have the trophy system where it says, oh, you've received this achievement, blah blah blah. But I think and I'm going to bounce this off of you guys. What if it was more like how Steam or well, let's just say how Steam does it, where there is a bunch of squares or little images that are associated with each one of them, and that each one you gained, it would actually color or show up on your screen.
Wait, you mean like in a window or like on your plot?
Like an achievement system?
Yeah. No, well, we have
We already
achievements
have
in
that.
the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We have achievements in the game, but it's just a list. Like, there's nothing exciting about it. There's nothing different about our achievement system. Having an image associated with it, or having something visual that associates itself with it, I think would be interesting.
That's
hell, WoW does it. WoW does it too, where each achievement has like, oh, you've gotten one, and it has like a
better progression mark to it.
Yeah,
Right.
a better progression mark within. I think the achievements is just kind of like tacked on there as just like a little extra. Like, I don't think there are people out there that are achievement hunting. You know what I mean? That are just
There was that one guy who got banned for doing something on his housing plot that was, remember, because he was like repeatedly ganking that medic to get the achievement for killing a medic, and he put the little stone on his keyboard.
Both together.
That happened. I'm just saying, people are achievement whores.
Going into the achievements, I think if the achievement system was reworked a little bit and a little easier to follow and have a little more challenges to it, instead of you got a double kill, you got a double kill, you got a double kill, you got a double kill. I get it. I got a double kill. I swear to God, if I get one more double kill, I'm going to break someone. Like make it really worth it and challenging. I loved going through achievement hunting in other games. In this game, it kind of just double kill.
So I have to say this before we move on. The huge problem that I see with the achievement system is that you can't share them. Like, you can't look at someone else's achievements, and I can't show off all the cool things that I've done. Nobody knows that I've killed 8,000 medics or I've killed like 44 million spellslingers. I can't tell people, and that's annoying. I mean, I can tell people, but they're not going to believe me because everybody thinks I suck at this game. So, I mean,
we don't help.
Yeah, I know you don't. This podcast is not a good source for my reputation.
No, and I agree with you. I mean, that's the thing with if you look on Twitter and stuff like that, like my wall gets filled sometimes where people are posting like screenshots and images of their achievements in WoW, and I mean, for me, it's not a visually appealing thing for me to do like in WildStar, because it's like, I'm just gonna show you text. It's cool. Text is really awesome, guys. You should read my text. Like, it needs a little bit of love. It needs a little bit of help. As for like collectibles, we already have dyes. We already have mounts. We have housing pieces.
We have a surprisingly large amount compared to other games that were at this point in their life cycle.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think all of them apply to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think housing plot pieces, everyone has a house, but not everyone is a housing whore. So, there isn't a tremendous amount. Like, me, if you go to my warriors plot, it's barren. I only put things on there so that I can get the bonus XP. So there's that. The dyes I could care less about, because the colors that I legitimately want are so ungodly rare that me trying for it is like me going out and buying a lotto ticket. And then as for mounts and stuff like that, it's like, mounts are cool. I would be interested in just seeing more mounts in the game, more like interesting, fun mounts.
We're getting some, which is really cool.
Yeah, I would say, like, I think the last patch they had one. And then,
they added a few cross-faction mounts for veteran ship hands. So you can get a Velocirex if you're an exile, and you can get a Woolly, I think it is. They call it the Aran mount for Dominion. You can get one of those now.
Yes. Oh, and I'm with this person in chat. If WildStar adds a selfie stick into the game, I quit.
I didn't see that message.
It'll be me in PvP over the pile of corpses. Greetings from Dagda Stone Pass.
Oh my god, that's stupid.
Doc, I just saw that picture frame like near the left side of your camera there. It's a little crooked and it's kind of bothering me. Can you?
That's the point. I'm doing it to make your OCD go insane.
I could just cut it out of the stream. I have the power. Anyways, sorry. Tangent again.
Anyways, so I would be interested into seeing more costume pieces, weapon costume pieces. I think would be really, really interesting, because I don't think there's a tremendous amount of just weapon costume pieces. I know there's the Rest in Peacemaker. I'd be interested into seeing some more of those.
Those would be amazing. Yeah, other class cosmetic stuff would be amazing. There are some cool models already, but having the off the wall stuff, that's just what I'm so excited for the upcoming holidays. And even the Protostar Warrior weapon is an awesome cosmetic piece.
That thing looks really, really cool. Collectible holidays, that would be really fun, where we actually have them during the year. That would be really awesome. I would play the shit out of this game if we had collectible holidays.
I would just want holidays. And on that note, we're gonna just slowly wrap up our podcast episode 35. We're such whiny bastards. We want holidays. We want holidays.
Guys, I don't think you guys realize how close to Halloween we are. You don't even understand.
Oh, I know. I know.
We're not close to Halloween?
Dude, it's March. We are like 7 months away. No.
7 months.
April, May, June, July, August, September.
God damn it, dude. 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 7!
Yeah, it was on purpose. We have 7 months to October. Come on. Get hype. Halloween, bitches!
No, hey, I'm like super, like, I know I bust your chops, Katie. I know, and I know how frustrated you get that we haven't gotten to see it yet. I'm super, super looking forward to it. I'm really hyped for it. I legitimately am still super, super awesome waiting for it. Christmas and Halloween, I believe, are the two that are confirmed. But I'm still really excited for them.
Oh, and breaking news, we found out that WildStar has a new community manager. Her name is Kim whatever her last name is. Her tag name is Clover. That just happened during PAX East. Yeah.
Clover is
Clover's now the new community manager of Wildstar.
Yeah.
She's killed Tony and taken his badge as a rifle kill trophy.
And that is how they pass that job along. When the previous community manager gets murdered in a convention, the person who gets their badge becomes the new community manager. And fun fact, they get an 8% raise.
What?
I don't know.
Is it a stacking bonus? Because that buff is happening. I'm taking a visit to Boston. Sorry, Clover.
Goodness gracious.
Anyway, we are going to wind up this week in Strange Tales from Outer Space. And for those who are still interested, Thade Fest is happening on the 15th of March. Next Saturday. Yes.
God, I hate you so much.
Disappointing.
Oh my God. Yes, please, guys, go to Thade Fest. There's some developers that are actually saying that they're going to be there, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to show up to Thade Fest. I have nothing to compete with or do anything. I'm just going to show up because I'm interested, and I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Yeah, I might go there and
really
record
hope to
stuff
see you guys
so
there
that
as
people
well.
can see.
And on that note, I'm going to end the show because Doc can't, because he's Doc. So, thanks everyone for joining us this week in STOS. I am Indigo, and with me we have Doc.
Hey, bye.
Hi! And Crew.
Bye!
Hi, guys, bye!
Bye, guys.